Good evening. Well, the freezing works strike over Southland today took stock of what the 6-week stoppage has cost the province. Some farmers are saying it'll take them 3 years to recover. And as Kathy Graham reports, the loss to the community as a whole is put at tens of millions of dollars.
Today, stock was being trucked by the thousands to supply Alliance's 4 Southland works, which resumed killing this morning. 6 chains are working at Lawnville, Makarewa and Ocean Beach, and another 4 at Mataura. This is Graham Milne's 3rd truckload today. He was ready to send these 6 weeks ago.
It'll take 3 years to recover, with shortage of feed for flushing the ewes, etc.
We've lost something like $8 million in direct wages into the district. I guess maybe $30 or $40 million Southland-wide. And that just can't be overturned and forgotten about in a period of a few weeks.
At Lawnville, killing will be up to full capacity by tomorrow. Now workers have ended the strike, talks will begin with management on the redundancy offer that made them walk out. Their priorities are mortgages and bills, but it will take Alliance longer to count the cost.
Obviously, our processing revenue will be well down this season, but market damage will also occur. But it's very hard to quantify exactly how much financial damage that is.
It's estimated there are about 2 million sheep and lambs left to be killed in Southland this season.
Some Dunedin residents are going to leave their homes in the suburb of Ocean View rather than continue living with the fear of subsidence into disused mine shafts. The Dunedin City Council has told residents of the 14 properties at risk that their best chance of compensation may be a special payout from the government. Kim Hurring reports.
If my house goes, it's just a house, isn't it? It's just something you live in. But I'm not going to be able to replace my son if something happens to him.
We feel now that it can't get out quick enough, really.
Yeah.
You know, once we've seen that report and that, it's a bit scary.
That's the concern these Ocean View residents have lived with for 10 months and are not prepared to go on with.
Well, there's no immediate catastrophic risk to people's property or to life. And although obviously they are concerned, we feel that the geologist's report has indicated that people can still remain living there and that they shouldn't react unnecessarily.
It took 3 truckloads of soil to fill the hole that opened up in Sue Harris's backyard. Now there's little sign of where it was, but she's still worried about what's below the surface.
I don't feel safe here. I've got a responsibility for my son. I don't feel he's safe playing on the ground. I don't want to live here.
The Robsons discovered the site for their planned extension was right over a shaft.
We haven't got 2 months to wait for another meeting that's going to end up. You know, I've got a baby due in September and I need a bedroom for it, so they can't let me build on to this house safely, then I want out.
Council doesn't have legal liability. That doesn't mean to say that the council is going to walk away from this problem. I think we feel that there are other solutions, perhaps political solutions, that should be used to help the residents involved.
The old coal mining plans and titles may be the key to finding out who is liable. But in the meantime, the council will probably put the residents' cause before government, hoping for an Abbotsford-like payout.
A $16 million Soviet fishing trawler was forfeited to the New Zealand government this afternoon. The captain of the Baikovsk pleaded guilty in the Dunedin District Court to a charge of using a net with a smaller mesh size than permitted by New Zealand's fishing regulations. A fine of $2,500 was imposed plus costs. What happens to the trawler is now a matter for negotiation. In past cases, foreign owners have had their vessels returned by the government, but at a cost. The National Party has selected its candidate for the Dunedin North electorate. She's Gail Donoghue, a 51-year-old pharmacist committed to taking the seat safely held by Stan Roger, who's retiring. Mark Price reports.
Donoghue operates a South Dunedin pharmacy, but 2 days a week she teaches part-time at the expanding University of Otago Pharmacy Department. Education is just one issue where her views differ strongly from Labor's current policies.
I'm particularly concerned about the Education Amendment Bill that's in the House at the moment. I mean, it is threatening the autonomy and academic freedom of our university and indeed all the universities throughout New Zealand. And I would really want us to lobby, and if I get the chance, I certainly will, for people to understand what this government is doing in this area of pretty well draconian type legislation.
Born and educated in Wellington, she's lived in the Dunedin North electorate for 25 years.
Why am I standing in Dunedin North? Because Dunedin North is where I stand, where I live, and because I believe in the principles of the National Party, and I believe we've got to do something very definite about this rather corrupt government that we've got in there at the moment.
5 of the region's rugby players had their chances to impress the All Black selectors today when they turned out in the trials in Palmerston North. Ken Nicholson says they did nothing to harm their reputations, although the 3 in the first trial had little chance to impress in a game of dreadful standard.
Southland fullback Eon Crossan kicked 3 goals from 4 attempts. The 4th was a poster, but as the game progressed, standard slipped. Otago number 8, Aaron Penny, was effective off the back of the white scrum, but as the black side gained control, he joined fellow Otago prop David Morgan among the more anonymous on the field. But for established All Blacks, Gary Whetton and Sean Fitzpatrick, it was all a joke. Many of the amateur selectors thought so too. Not so the main trial, a game which showed just how good New Zealand rugby is at the moment. Paul Henderson, as ever, was full of constructive energy, and with few chances on attack, John Timu did nothing wrong.
That's an excellent kick by John Timu.
I'm sure our rugby girls of last night would have given them a run for their money. Otago University today honoured one of the giants of the British Commonwealth. Long-serving Commonwealth Secretary-General Sir Shridath Ramphal was awarded an honorary doctorate of laws, joining over 300 other graduates at the university's first 2-day graduation ceremony. Michael Lynch was there.
University graduation has taken a new turn at Otago this year. With more than 1,000 graduates, the university has been forced to spread the ceremony over 2 days. But at least it's let whole families share the occasion, where previously space in the town hall has been very restricted. Honoured guest this year was Sir Sonny Ramphal, adding an Otago doctorate to the 6 he's been awarded already. His lilting West Indian accent carried a tough message, telling New Zealand to hold fast to the course of social justice he sees it on.
The New Zealander has taken his place in our global human society, not to view passively the ruins of the old order, but to bring a practical idealism to bear on the construction of a new order of justice and equality for all the world's people.
The second graduation ceremony will be held on Saturday.
The Leith bike race kicks off tomorrow, and graduation week kicked off today with the traditional students' bed race through the centre of Dunedin's Octagon. And the capping show gets underway tomorrow night as well. Should be a big week. We'll be back tomorrow. Good night.